Welcome back to Why Would You Even Say That? This is episode 8, and I'm super excited, number 1, because I finally got my microphone working. Number 2, because this was a suggestion by somebody who commented on my Instagram, and I'm super excited for that. I didn't ask her if I could say her name, so I'm not going to, but we talked back and forth, so I just want you to know I'm super grateful that you, number 1, watch the pod, number 2, you want to watch the pod, and number 3, kind of crazy that you want to listen to me talk for 30 minutes. So I'm honored. I'm super excited that you trusted me with this topic. So let's go ahead and move forward. I think that the common misconception with, people who have been single for a really long time, or people who are just wanting to be single or wanting to be okay with being single, is that, we've given up. Because for your entire life, you're expected to go from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, all the way to Z. That's how you're supposed to go. You're not allowed to skip. You don't go from A to F. You don't go from Z to A. You go from A to B to C to D to E. And what do I mean by that? What, Caitlin, you're sounding crazy. What do you mean? What I mean is, from a very young age, you were told to go to school, graduate high school, go to college, get your big girl job, get your big boy job, meet someone, fall in love, get married, have kids, live life, raise your kids, let your kids have kids, become grandparents, retire, move on, travel the world, die, repeat. And that's morbid. I'm totally aware that is super morbid. But that is the underlying expectation that society and people and everybody expects out of you. And I think something that millennials and Gen Zs and probably Gen Alpha have understood and found out is that that's not how it goes. My whole life, I have not been from point A to point B to point B to point C. I feel like I have gone from A to E to B to Z to H to M to L. It's crazy. It's just been a chaotic whirlwind of learning lessons and achieving things and going from this point to this point, and nothing has been traditional. Yes, I graduated high school. I completed part A. So nothing has been as it should be. So, when you do find yourself wanting a relationship and seeing that everybody else is having something that you feel like you can't have, how do you decenter that? How do you decenter men, or how do you decenter women, vice versa? You get what I'm saying. From your life. How is that possible? When everybody around you is falling in love so easily and everybody is super happy and you feel like you're broken and something is wrong with you, because you can't have this one thing that you've always dreamed of or you've always wanted, and you keep, changing different things and, trying to be different. And sorry for the cut. I had to yell at my cat. Again, yes. So it's super hard when you realize that, it seems like everybody around you has these things that you want. But I want to introduce you to a little bit of insight if you haven't already thought about it. How many people on the internet or in movies or your friends have you thought were perfect together? You thought, yeah, that's endgame. That is so exciting. I'm super excited for them. When's the wedding? And then it comes out that one of them was one of the worst people ever. One of them cheated. And you would have never thought that person was capable of that. One of them, I don't know, to go crazy, murdered somebody. That's crazy. And I want to offer you a little bit of insight before we get into this, because I don't want to keep bringing this up, because it's a little morbid and it's a little controversial, and a lot of people probably won't like this. But I think it's something that really changed how the gears in my mind worked. If all of these people who have these amazing, perfect relationships end up getting out of them, maybe it's not as perfect as you thought it was to begin with. And that seems super simple. Most of you are probably like, oh my God, Caitlin, duh. Like, we're not stupid. We know that. But did you? Have you really thought about it? When you're alone in bed on a Saturday or Friday night and all of your friends are out at the club or with their significant others or, with their kids, whatever it may be. Have you actually thought about that? Or have you thought about, oh man, I don't have that because I suck or whatever? Because again, it's super simple to get caught up in these ideas that, it happens so easy for other people. Like, that relationship just fell into their lap. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. And I think that, again, like I'm doing another podcast episode on this. We often see the beginning of progress and we see the end of progress, but we don't see the middle of progress. So when you see that person in that relationship and you're like, oh my gosh, like it just happens so easily for everybody else. What's wrong with me? You didn't see the roots that person had to grow in order to get that flower. You didn't see what that person had to go through in order to get that relationship, because we're focusing on the end result and how many people have the end result that we don't have, that we want so desperately. And I'm not saying you haven't planted the roots. I'm not saying you're not even, starting to bloom. I'm just saying it is very easy when you're surrounded by, all of these TV shows and movies and life, and it seems so easy for everybody else. We're seeing the end results of a lot of things that people had to go through in order to get there. And I don't think that that's fair. It's not fair to us to, put ourselves down because of a result that everybody else has that we want. And it's not fair to the people that have worked hard to get there. So I think that to think on both sides of that spectrum before I get into what I'm going to get into is very beneficial in itself. And to me, that is the groundwork of what you need to know in order to move on and focus on your life. So I want to ask you, what if the reason you're unhappy isn't because you're single and everybody else is in a relationship? What if it's because you've accidentally cast a man as the main character of a story that was always supposed to be yours? Let me let this cat outside. Sorry, he was meowing and I knew he wouldn't stop until I let him outside. Again, so this story is your story. You do not need a significant other or a relationship to complete your story. Again, I want you to say it with me. Why do we not need that? Oh, because it's your story. You do not need anybody else. And this is so cringe. I understand. But you really have to continue to say it to yourself in order to believe it. This is your life. This is your story. You do not need anybody else or anything to complete it. Moving on. I think it's very easy to get stuck on, when men became the plot, when women became the plot. When did that happen? How did we let that happen? How did we let somebody else become the plot in our story? And I don't know. I really don't know. I think that maybe it's from a very young age, we were all taught in school that, he's being mean to you because he likes you. She's being mean to you because she likes you. And it starts then. It starts so young when we're constantly looking does he like me? Does she like me? And it's all throughout life. Men and women can't be friends because, he likes you. Oh, she likes you. And it's just that school talk of adolescence, and it's taught to us then. So I think that that's probably when they became the plot. And that really just only focuses on that ABC plot line that everybody expects us to have, and that's not always the case. So I think the question you have to ask yourself again is, how much mental real estate is being rented by someone who doesn't even live there? Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't it? How much rental How much mental real estate is being taken up by someone who doesn't even live there? How many imaginary conversations? How many future scenarios? How many what ifs? It's exhausting to have somebody be the center of your story and you don't even know who that somebody is. And isn't it kind of crazy that we're letting somebody that we don't even know make us sad? Make us feel restless? Make us feel like we're not enough? Again, for emphasis, in our story? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And also, you're having somebody decenter your life and they haven't even agreed to be there. Mostly because they don't exist yet, but, for metaphorical reasons. It's still crazy. So, step 2, so now we know that, okay, well, this is my life. I don't need a significant other. That doesn't really mean that I don't still want one. But why do I want one? That's a whole nother podcast episode. That's something you have to ask yourself. Is it because you're lonely? Is it because you have so much love to give? Is it because you think that you should have one by now? Because that's not real. That's not a real standpoint that you should live by. That's not something you need to tell yourself. That's scary. That's insane. So I think then the next thing, again, is the audacity of enjoying your own life. Let's build your life and fill your life with what you want to do. Do you want to craft? Do you want to binge watch an entire TV show? Do you want to hang out with your friends? Do you want to go to the club? Do you want to go to Miami? Do you want to go to Paris? Do you want to save money? Do you want to get a different job? What do you want? And I think it's really sad how many of us haven't asked ourselves that question in a very long time. What do you want? Not what do you want to get the relationship, not what do you want to get there. What do you want? And it's crazy just how revolutionary it feels to ask yourself that simple question. And enjoy your own life. Not as a placeholder, not as a distraction. Actually enjoy it. Buying flowers because you like them. Taking yourself to dinner, planning trips, reading books, learning things, learning new things. Why was Mountain Dew created? Why the other day I Googled, why do businesses use red and black cards on their light boards? It's because the colors red and black make that call the consumer to action. It's because it makes you buy their product. I was just curious and I Googled it. So, learn something new. Build friendships. Create your own traditions. You do not need somebody else or a whole bunch of people in your life or quote unquote, this is about to get a little sad, a family, because some people don't have those, to create traditions. You don't. I think that a lot of these things for our entire lives, we've treated them as consolation prizes. Oh, I can't create traditions until I have, my person or my family. No. This is... I'm going to have to get this tattooed on my forehead. This is your life. Live for you. Create things for you. Learn things for you. There is no us. And that's so sad. And it's kind of harsh. But there is no us. There is only you right now. And at the end of the day, even when you're in a relationship, there is only you. Are you happy with you? That's a question you have to ask yourself. These things are not consolation prizes. They're not. This is your life. And I know it sounds super crazy, but it's so true. And you can still want love. You can still want, a man, a woman. You can still want these things while living for you and doing what you want to do and learning new things. There's a big distinction. There really is. Recentering men does not have to be bitter, or recentering women, vice versa. It doesn't mean pretending that you don't want love, or, going by that phrase that a lot of people say, it'll come when you least expect it. If you don't want love, it'll come right away. I don't know about you, but I was in my room at night on a Saturday being like, yeah, I don't even want a relationship. What? No, I don't want that. Stop. No, relationships are not for me. And then being like, is it on the way? Did that convince him? Is he on the way? Is she on the way? Are they coming? Did I do enough? Did I do a good enough job? Was that convincing? And then I would wait, and I'd be like, damn, I didn't try hard enough. And it's stupid. It really is. It doesn't mean pretending that you don't want love or swearing off relationships for forever. I mean, it really doesn't. You can absolutely want a relationship. You can absolutely still hope for one. The difference is that you need to stop sitting in the passenger seat waiting for somebody else to drive. This is your car. You pay for it. You pay the price, literally and metaphorically. This is your life. Start driving the damn car instead of waiting for your chauffeur. Nobody's coming to save you. All of these things that you're waiting for somebody to come along and make sense, make them make sense yourself. And I know that you might not know how. I know that might be overwhelming and mind-boggling, and you might not necessarily know where to start. And that's okay, because it is scary when you decenter relationships and love, and you start, refocusing that on loving yourself and figuring out what you love in life and what you want your life to look like. It's scary, and it's honestly kind of terrifying. But you have to stop organizing your life around someone who may or may not arrive on the timeline that you expect them to. And if you're here, I'm assuming we've surpassed that timeline. I'm just saying. No shade. Love you so much. But I'm in the same boat as you. And, it's just how it is. So if we have all of the steps we've talked about, let's talk about the rom-com moments that nobody talks about. Because, up until this point, you might not have realized that you wanted them, or that you don't want them. Maybe, me saying that you want to spend your life in a rom-com and, romanticize your life and be happy. Maybe that's your worst nightmare. Maybe you do want to be a serial dater and you want to hop from relationship to relationship. You do you. I hope that makes you happy, and I'm so happy for you. So, paint vivid scenes. A lot of people are like, oh my God, it's raining. Especially me. Rain gives me PTSD for multiple reasons. But I still love the rain. It's beautiful in itself, and I won't get into that because it's going to sound a little cringe in this episode. But, going to a bookstore in the rain. Going and... I'm going to put you guys on something. Going and sitting in your car just to get out of the house when it's raining. Read a book. Draw. Paint. Watch a TV show on your iPad. Open the window while you're sitting on your couch. Same thing. Just paint vivid scenes. Find a new coffee shop. Stop being scared that when you walk into places by yourself, people are making fun of you and people are staring at you. They're not. They're really not. And if they are, they're not good people. Do not listen to them anyways. I don't care what you're wearing, what you look like, what your insecurities are. Do not be scared to go out and branch out by yourself. Obviously, be safe about it. Maybe don't walk down some dark alleys in the middle of the night, or at all. But be smart about it and branch out and do things by yourself. You know, laugh with your friends. Hang out with your friends. Even when you feel like you're not feeling like it, hang out with your friends. Decorate your house exactly how you want it. Bachelor pad, all pink. I don't know, 101 Dalmatians themed. I don't know, dude. Do what you want because this is your life. Get a promotion. Don't get a promotion. Watch the sunset. Make a meal that turns out surprisingly good. Make a meal that turns out surprisingly really, really bad. These things are going to happen, and you have to make an inside joke with yourself. You have to live for you. And these moments that we take for granted are magical. And just because you're not spending them with somebody, with a man or a woman or a love interest, doesn't make them any less valuable. And the fact that we've kind of held the value in our hands and we've been like, well, this kind of diminishes because I don't have anybody to spend it with, is kind of at a cost to ourselves if you really think about it. Because why can't they be magical now? Why can't something good be good for you? Why does it have to be good for you in a relationship? It doesn't have to be. It doesn't. All you have to do is keep going. And, you know, bringing in a metaphor, you know, because I love a good metaphor, and you guys know that I love a good metaphor. You know, sometimes it feels like you're sitting alone on a train. You don't know exactly where you're headed. The scenery isn't changing fast enough. You wonder if you ever get off. You wonder if you'll get off at a better stop. You wonder if you've missed your chance. And maybe this isn't loneliness. Maybe it's ownership. Maybe for the first time you're sitting in a seat that belongs entirely to you. You're not waiting or chasing or auditioning. You are just traveling. And that's okay. You're traveling to new places and learning new things, and you're traveling solo. And if somebody joins you along the way, that's amazing. But if they don't, that's also amazing. Because think about how many new things that you've learned. Think about all of the things that you've done to fill your own cup instead of waiting for somebody to come along with a bucket of water and overfill your cup. Nobody's coming to save you. I learned that from Linda Little from Send Help. If you have not seen that movie, you severely need to watch it. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to fill your cup. You have to be able to fill your own cup. And that's okay. And I know that it's very, what's the word that I'm trying to think of? It shakes the foundation that you thought you always knew, to realize that, you know, even if you weren't doing it on purpose, that you were kind of doing it subconsciously, that you were centering a relationship in your life. Oh, well, I'm not in a relationship because I'm not pretty enough, or I'm too big, or I'm too small, or I'm too tall, or I'm too short, or because I have a disability, or because of the color of my skin, or because I have a mental illness, or because I am weird, or because I like to read, or because I'm not putting myself out there enough, or because I'm too picky, or because I don't actually want a relationship, or whatever it may be. It shakes the foundation that you thought you always knew, to realize that all of those things are great. All of the things that you get in a relationship are really, really great. And they're really fulfilling. But to know that you can do all of those things by yourself, I would like to think that there's power in that. I would like to think that There's so much growth and power and opportunity in just living your life and not living life until somebody comes along so you can start living your life. And I know that that sucks, and I know that this might be hard for some people to hear, but I talked about this in my book that I've literally just published it in April, The Thread Theory of Me, Myself, and I. It's hard spending your entire life wanting one thing and not being able to, quote unquote, have that thing. You ask yourself, the only common denominator with all of these things is me, so I have to be the problem. It has to be something I'm doing. It's not. It's not. Because let's be honest. If you wanted to be in a relationship right now, you could. There's somebody out there. But there are odds of that relationship being somebody that you absolutely love, or that you actually like, or that you're attracted to. Well, I don't know. There's probably no scientific way to calculate those odds, but I would like to sit here and tell you that it's okay to be picky. It's okay to be all of the things. Be them. Do all of the things when you're dating. Do all of the things when you're not dating, obviously. But it's not you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes maybe it could be. But it's not you. If you are wanting a relationship and you're not really getting it, maybe even if it is you need to focus on yourself to figure it out what it is. What are you doing that, is self-sabotaging yourself? Or what are you doing that's ruining things before they begin? What are you doing? Spend time by yourself. Do a diamond painting. Find a new album. Go to an art show. Go to the farmer's market. Go to a rodeo. Go to a NASCAR race. Do all of the things. Do them alone. Do them with friends. Do them... I don't know. Just do all of the things. Because waiting and wondering when your person is going to show up is going to drive you crazy. And it's also, again, going to discredit your life and yourself. You deserve so much. And you have so much potential to fill your own cup. And wouldn't it be so nice to fill your own cup and have a life and then be a little bit more picky when it comes to relationships? Have full confidence in yourself and not, again, wait for somebody to fill your cup in the spots that you can't fill it yourself. I'm not telling you to be hyper independent. I'm not telling you to become so independent that you don't need a man or a woman. I'm just telling you that you can live a glamorous, beautiful life by yourself while you're also dating or looking for a relationship or not looking for a relationship for the first time in your life. There is beauty and art in stillness and loneliness, because I think that there's a stereotype around loneliness that it has to be bad, that it has to be hollow, and it doesn't. Because loneliness is kind of coinciding with stillness if you really think about it. And it's okay to feel alone. It's okay to still want a relationship every now and then. And it's okay to, go back to those thoughts of, do I really want this? Do I really want to live life for me, or do I want a relationship? Because it's going to happen. And when you get there, I want you to listen to this part again, and I want you to have my voice in your head, knowing that that is okay. It's going to happen. It's okay to be lonely. But don't confuse it with silence and stillness, because that's just going to come along with it. When you're so content in your life and, you're filling your own cup, there's going to be times where you're sitting around and, you're just calm. And you're like, whoa. And it's odd. It feels weird. So you don't need a man to make your life cinematic. You don't need a man or a woman to fill your life or to fill the quote unquote holes in your life. No pun intended. You don't need a relationship to make your life meaningful. Let's say that one again. You don't need a relationship to make your life meaningful. One more time. You don't need a relationship to make your life meaningful. Making your life meaningful is up to you and you only. What are you putting up with? What are you doing? What are you doing to fill your own cup? You don't need someone else's love story to validate your own. You don't need relationship advice from somebody who you don't want their relationship. You don't want to take life advice from somebody that you don't want their life. That one is important in itself. And I think that, one day you might meet someone incredible. Someday you will meet somebody incredible. And when that happens, that's wonderful. And think about all of the things that you will have done to make yourself super happy when you get there. They might arrive in a couple days, in a couple weeks, in a couple months, in a couple years. But it's going to be worth it. Because by doing all of these things that we've talked about, you're living a life that is full, a life that has color, that has romanticizing, a life that is full of gratefulness, faith that what you want will happen, manifestation. But, you already have a life that's worth living right now in your hands. The call is coming from inside of the house. This is your life, babes. And I really hope that this helped. I hope that you understand that this is your life. This isn't the opening scene of the movie. This isn't the end credits. This is the movie. This is your life. The movie's already started. There's no going back and rewinding it. All you can do is make it better from here on out. I just did a podcast episode on this. You are the main character. You are. And maybe the love of your life isn't a person you're waiting to meet. Maybe it's the life you're building while you wait. I'm going to leave you with that. I don't want to keep rambling. I don't want to keep yapping because I feel like I'll just do us both a disservice. But I really hope this helped. And I really hope that you understand that it's okay to want a relationship again. Like, it's okay to want these things. But, again, this is your life. What do you want? When you think back on this in 30 years, do you want to think of how you were just kind of going through the motions and going through day to day, waiting until they show up? Or do you want to live a life for you? Do what you want to do. Life is short. Life is hard. Life sucks sometimes. But it doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't. I love you. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And I'll see you next week with a new episode. Love you guys. Bye.